Fire Emblem has fantastic level design most of the time. However, some folks are unclear as to what it takes to make a good level or not. Now, I've been playing Fire Emblem for, 13 years now, and I've spent tons of time both creating levels and thinking about how to design them. While I don't think I know everything, I do have a good idea on what I'd like to see. So today, I'm going to share that with you. Ah, yes. Thank you, my adoring public. It's only taken me how long to tackle this subject? Anyway, what is level design? Let's start with that. Simply put, it's the placement of objects in a level, or chapter, or stage, whatever you feel like using. Bricks and Goombas in Mario may look and function completely different, but one thing these two have in common is that they're both part of the level design.
Yeah, dude, you and I were one and the same.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Now, what makes level design good or not is the way you place these objects. You want the player to have an experience that's varied, challenging, and fair, and a lot of these things are determined by how smart you are with placement.
But MarkyJoe, how do I be smart with the play?
Shut up! I was getting to that. Jeez. Why did I invent that annoying character in the first place? Fuck. Anyway, let's look at an example of excellent level design. Castlevania 1 for Nintendo. The game has a specific pattern on how it places obstacles. First, the game places new gameplay elements in a safe, low-stakes environment, like the skeleton in Stage 3. He's a new gameplay element.
Yeah, I'm a new gameplay element.
Okay, that's enough from you. Notice how he's placed in a spot where his attacks are easy to avoid. This was done intentionally so that you, the player, can observe its pattern without any trouble. The designer knows that from then on, you know how to fight skeletons. So after that point, skeletons get placed in progressively more difficult to deal with situations, such as below you, across platforms, above a flight of stairs, and even in the direct path of your jump. And this is all done to achieve variety and a steady difficulty curve. The best part of all is that because the game prepared you with that first instance of the skeleton, none of these situations feel unfair.
But Mark, what does this have to do with Fire Emblem?
Fucking shush! God! Fire Emblem uses the same approach to most of its level design. The main difference is that sometimes it uses cutscenes and info boxes to explain concepts that aren't easily observable, such as how Pegasus Riders are weak to bows, or that trees give you defense and evasion bonuses, or that Rucker's gonna pop out of this castle and unexpectedly kill one of your characters. Oh wait. So now that you understand some of the basic principles of level design, here's a couple other things to consider when making a level. What does it do to stand out from other levels? Before making your level, it's generally a good idea to think about what its central idea will be. Using my Fire Emblem hack as an example, Chronicles of Lussaria, I made a chapter that focuses primarily on using a Pegasus Rider to fly over terrain. As such, I placed 2 endangered villages that are either behind mountains or have enemies in the way, so that reaching them on foot takes much longer than on a Pegasus. I also put in an enemy character that only your Pegasus Rider can recruit. So basically the whole map is about moving your Pegasus Rider all across the map. Lastly, if you take too long, 3 Pegasus Riders come out of the mountain forts to attack you. All of this gives the chapter a distinct identity.
This is a Pegasus Rider chapter!
Next, how thought-provoking are the situations that occur in your level? I've played several Fire Emblem mods where the scenarios I'm placed in have elementary solutions to them. You'll see me toss around the word bait and switch a lot when a chapter simply plops enemies onto the map that don't move until you step into their range. This type of setup allows you to clump all of your team together, bait enemies out by putting someone in their attack range, and then dogpile them with your team. Rinse and repeat. Easy peasy. Another buzzword I use is turtling, which is when most of the enemies can be defeated by parking my team in one spot and letting the enemies bum rush me like the morons they are, with absolutely no repercussions. The commonality between these two tactics is that they're easy to execute and require minimal thought. In most cases, you'll want to find ways to discourage the player from doing these and similar low-effort strategies. For example, placing a village that's in danger of being attacked by a bandit is a great way of getting the player to get out of the area where they can turtle and come out and take risks. Number 3. How much freedom does the player have in my level? You want the chapter to have a clear identity to it, but you also don't want there to be only one way to play your chapter. Having only one correct sequence of actions stifles player creativity and makes the level unfun to complete in subsequent playthroughs due to its repetitive nature. The flip side of this is that usually when you give the player too much freedom, they can potentially do something to trivialize your chapter and make it boring to play. In the end, you'll want to strike a balance between the two extremes. Number 4. Have I made each turn interesting to play?
Alright, I'm gonna be honest. So long as you have shit going on each turn, you should be able to keep the player entertained. Knowledge on how the enemy AI works, how terrain impedes movement, and where the player is likely to be on specific turns will help you place enemies in just the right way so that the next batch of enemies are ready to intercept the player right after they got past the previous batch. You don't need to plan all this out in your head, mind you. For me, it's much easier to place enemies on the map with a vague idea of what I want to do, play through it, and then just make adjustments until I'm satisfied with the result. Number 5. Has this level gotten enough playtesting? Alright, this is kinda obvious, but I'm gonna go one step further. Don't just get feedback for your stage, watch people play your level with live commentary. This allows you to observe how they play your chapter, and you get to hear their thoughts as they play, which gives you tons of context and information that you can use to improve your chapter. Now if the player says it's unclear on how to recruit the enemy Myrmidon, you can look at their playthrough and be like, no, it's not. You just didn't pay attention, you stupid doofus. Or maybe they're right. Maybe you didn't give a single clue. Either way, you've got the proof. Lastly, you don't just want average players to play your level, you also want efficient players to play it. These two players play the game very differently. Average players will take their time, they'll try to get everything, they'll promote their units at higher levels, and they'll feed EXP to their shitty-ass waifu. Efficient players will try to clear the chapter as fast as possible, only get things they need, promote units early, and they'll bench that shitty-ass waifu faster than you can say, "Oh yeah, I wanna pet your face." Anyway, I think that's it. It's the end of the video. You can all go home now. Oh yeah, I guess I have a Patreon too. You can do that, or you can subscribe, leave a comment. You can do all sorts of shit, come to think of it. Isn't the world full of so many possibilities? Alright, anyway, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Later! I need someone to review my FE hack. He needs to be someone who won't cut me slack. It's MarkyJoe, he's arrived from his golden chariot. And down he walks the road, brow saying, what the hell, you got MarkyJoe? These ambush bombs just don't do it for me.